Hey everyone, itching for some adventure? We're doing a deep dive today to the 2025 BMW R 1300 GS adventure.
Oh yeah, the GSA?
You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The bike that's basically on every adventure rider's dream list.
Yeah, definitely a legend.
So if you're thinking about epic journeys,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even around the world trip, and wondered if this is the machine to get you there.
Mm.
Well, we've got some fresh intel for you. We've got a killer video review from Adventure Bike Rider magazine.
Oh, cool.
They got to actually ride the new GSA in Wales.
Wow.
And we've also got specs and details straight from the source, the official BMW Motorrad Turkey website.
Sounds like we've got all our bases covered.
Yeah, so let's jump right in. First impressions. The video reviewer, Billy Johnson. He was actually a little skeptical about the redesign at first. But guess what? He came away saying, I think in 5-10 years, people will look at this and be like, this was a pretty groundbreaking design for a motorcycle.
That's a pretty bold statement, especially considering how iconic the previous GSA already was.
Right. And when you see this, you totally get it. Billy talks about the huge, imposing road presence with these big, square, imposing tanks, and that brushed aluminum is just beautiful. It definitely makes a statement.
Yeah, it'll definitely turn heads.
But the question is, how does all that size and weight translate to the road?
Well, that's where the engineering magic comes in. This bike weighs in at 269 kilograms fully fueled. But Billy was blown away by how nimble it felt.
Yeah, he actually said it felt lighter than the previous model, which is pretty crazy considering all the extra features they added.
That's impressive.
He even described it as flowing nicely through corners and feeling like it's on rails.
That's the kind of handling you want in a bike like this, especially when you're loaded up for a long trip.
For sure. And speaking of handling, did they mention that adaptive ride height feature?
Oh yeah, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Especially for shorter riders or anyone who wants a little extra confidence at low speeds.
Right. You can actually adjust the ride height on the fly to fit your needs and the terrain.
Exactly. It's like having a custom-tailored suspension.
Now, when it comes to off-road performance, the video review didn't have any footage from that specific day. But Billy has ridden the 1300 GS off-road before, and he considers it definitely the best iteration of the bike so far for trail riding.
That's high praise coming from a guy who knows his off-road bikes.
Yeah, but it's important to remember, this is still an adventure bike, not a full-blown dirt bike.
Right. It's built for versatility, tackling a variety of terrains, but maybe not those hardcore single-track trails.
Yeah, there are definitely limits, but don't worry, there are some features specifically designed for those who do want to venture off the beaten path. We'll get to those a little later. But first, let's talk about touring, because that's where the GSA really shines.
Oh, yes. Cruising down those endless highways, wind in your hair, that feeling of freedom.
That's the dream, right? And this bike is built for it. We're
Yeah.
talking a massive 30-liter fuel tank.
Wow, that's serious range.
Billy actually calculated that you could ride from the Midlands in the UK all the way to Marseille, France on just 5.5 tanks.
That's incredible. Think of all the places you could go without worrying about finding a gas station every 5 minutes.
Exactly. And it's not just about the fuel tank. They've also nailed the ergonomics for long-distance comfort. Billy said the riding position is perfectly relaxed and natural with a commanding view of the road. This bike is designed to eat up miles.
Sounds like they really thought of everything to make the GSA a true long-distance touring machine.
Totally. Now, you might be wondering, how does this adventure model compare to the standard GS?
Yeah, what sets it apart?
Well, the GSA is like the premium version, built for even more rugged adventures. You get 20 millimeters of extra suspension travel at both ends. That giant fuel tank we talked about. More fairings for better wind protection, a larger windscreen, and a heavy-duty subframe to handle all your luggage.
So it's like the GS's more adventurous older brother.
Exactly. And Billy actually started out thinking the standard GS might be enough for him, but after riding the GSA, he was totally sold on the extra capabilities and comfort.
It's amazing how experience can change your perspective.
For sure. Now, I know there's a specific trim level of the GSA that's caught your eye.
Oh, yeah. The trophy variant. Now we're talking.
Okay, we're going to delve into that and all its off-road focus features next.
The trophy variant. Yeah, that name just screams adventure, doesn't it?
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
And the looks definitely match the name. The BMW Motorrad Turkey website. They describe it as having this stunning, metallic Yarış Movisi, which, if you don't speak Turkish, means racing blue.
Okay.
With these white and red stripes. It's got a high black and red rider seat and red hand protectors.
Yeah, they really went for a bold look with the trophy. It's like they're saying this bike is ready to take on anything.
Exactly. But it's not just about looks. The trophy comes packed with features that are specifically designed to boost its off-road performance.
Okay, so let's talk features. What makes the trophy so special when you're off the pavement?
Well, first up, you've got the Dynamics package, which includes pro riding modes and a Pro Shift Assistant.
Okay.
I know that might sound a little technical.
Yeah.
But basically, pro riding modes, they let you fine-tune the bike's performance, depending on the terrain. Like, you could just throttle response, traction control, and ABS settings.
Oh, that's cool. So you can really optimize the bike for different conditions.
Exactly. And the Pro Shift Assistant, this is awesome. It lets you do clutchless up and down gear changes.
Oh, wow.
So that means smoother, faster gear changes, which is a huge plus,
Yep.
especially when you're navigating tricky off-road sections.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But the real star of the show when it comes to off-roading is the Pro Enduro package.
Yeah, okay, the Enduro package. Now you've got my attention. What's in that?
This package is all about protection and control,
Yeah.
especially when you're really pushing the bike's limits off-road. So you get handlebar protection, handlebar risers,
Yeah.
which, by the way, makes standing up while you ride a lot more comfortable.
Okay, yeah.
Shorter levers, so you can reach them easily when you're standing on the pegs. Adjustable footrests for, better grip and comfort, and recessed turn signal levers, which, let's be real, those drops are going to happen. So it's nice to have that extra protection.
Yeah, those are some really practical features. It sounds like they really put a lot of thought into what off-road riders need.
Totally. And if you're really into personalizing your GSA, BMW offers a ton of other customization options too. The Turkish website shows they've got different seats, a spoiler windscreen for even more wind protection, a radiator grille guard to protect that vital component, an aluminum rear case for all your gear.
Don't forget the Connected Ride Navigator. That's pretty awesome, having all your navigation, communication, and entertainment needs right there on your bike.
Oh yeah, that's next level touring for sure. You can basically build your dream GSA piece by piece. But before we get too carried away with all the cool bells and whistles, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The price.
Ah, yes. Adventure often comes with a price tag.
It does. And the GSA is not exactly a budget-friendly bike.
Yeah.
In the UK, the base model starts at just under £19,000.
Okay.
But of course, once you start adding all those tempting options, like the Dynamics package, the Pro Enduro package, and all the other goodies we talked about, you can easily push that price to £20,000 or even £21,000.
Yeah, that's a serious investment. But it's important to keep in mind, you're not just buying a motorcycle, you're investing in a whole world of possibilities. The freedom to explore, the chance to have some truly unforgettable experiences.
It's about the journey, not just the destination, but it's also about making sure this is the right machine for you, for your riding style, for your aspirations.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked a lot about the tech specs, the features, all that, but what about the feel? What's it actually like to ride this thing?
That's where the video review really comes in handy. Billy used a phrase that stuck with me. He said that even though it's this big, powerful bike, the GSA somehow just disappears under you.
Disappears under you. That's an interesting way to describe a bike this size. What do you think he meant by that?
He talked about how balanced and responsive it feels, almost like an extension of your body. He said it gives you this sense of confidence, like you can conquer any road, any terrain.
It sounds like he's describing a motorcycle that goes beyond just the physical. It becomes an experience, a feeling.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it kind of reminded me that sometimes the most important things about a motorcycle, they aren't the things you can see on a spec sheet. It's about the emotions it evokes, the connection it creates, the adventures it inspires.
Yeah, it's that something special that speaks to your heart as a rider. The thing that makes you want to keep riding, keep exploring, keep pushing your limits.
So we've explored the specs, the features, the price, even the feel of riding the 2025 BMW R 1300 GS Adventure. But let's zoom out for a second and think about the bigger picture. What does the arrival of this new GSA tell us about the adventure motorcycle market as a whole?
That's a great question. I think the fact that BMW went all out with innovation on this redesign, instead of just making small changes here and there, it tells me the adventure motorcycle market it's moving fast.
Yeah, riders are demanding more capability, more tech, more comfort, more of everything.
And companies like BMW are listening. We're seeing a trend towards bigger engines, more advanced suspension systems, and a ton of electronic rider aids that make riding both safer and more exciting.
And let's not forget about connectivity features, like the Connected Ride Navigator. They're becoming essential for a lot of adventure riders. It's all about staying connected, informed, and entertained while you're on the road.
It's about taking the whole riding experience to the next level, both on and off the pavement.
So it's clear the adventure motorcycle market it's booming. And the 2025 R1300 GS Adventure is a perfect example of how manufacturers are pushing the limits to meet those demands. those evolving demands of riders.
But even with all these advancements, it's good to remember a motorcycle like this. It's not for everyone. It's a specialized machine, made for a certain kind of rider, a certain style of riding.
Right. So let's talk about who this bike is really for. Who is the ideal rider for the 2025 BMW R 1300 GS Adventure?
Well, it's definitely not a beginner bike. It's big, it's powerful, it takes experience and skill to handle it, right?
Yeah.
Especially when things get tough.
Yeah, you need to be comfortable with its size and weight, confident in your off-road abilities, and looking for a motorcycle that can handle those long hauls, those long-distance trips with ease.
It's for the rider who dreams big, who wants to explore the open road, who isn't afraid of a challenge.
It's for the rider who sees the world as one giant playground waiting to be explored.
But even if the GSA isn't the right bike for you, personally, it's still an incredible machine. It shows us what's possible in the world of adventure motorcycles. It gives us a glimpse into the future of this really exciting and ever-changing segment.
Yeah, I totally agree. It makes us think bigger, dream bigger, and embrace that spirit of adventure, no matter what we ride.
Now, speaking of adventure, let's shift gears for a minute and talk about the human element. The bike's just a tool. It's the rider who makes the adventure happen. What are your thoughts on that?
You're absolutely right. The GSA might be capable of incredible journeys, but in the end, it's up to the rider to define their own adventure. What are their goals? What are their limits? And how can they use a bike like this to push those limits, expand their horizons, create a truly meaningful experience?
It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about growing and changing along the way.
Exactly. And that's something that no motorcycle, no matter how fancy or high-tech, can do for you. It's something you have to find within yourself.
So get out there, explore, challenge yourself, embrace the adventure. The world is waiting.
And who knows? Maybe someday our paths will cross out there on the open road. We can swap stories and inspire each other with tales from our own two-wheeled adventures. Until then, ride safe, ride smart, and keep the adventure alive. So we've really dug deep into this 2025 BMW R 1300 GS Adventure, from those first impressions to the nitty-gritty specs, the off-road chops, that long-distance comfort, and yeah, even the price tag. We haven't held back.
We even got a little philosophical, talking about the feeling of adventure, like that connection you get with a bike like this.
Yeah, we did. We talked about how this bike is built to handle just about anything. And ultimately, it's the rider who chooses the path, who makes the adventure happen.
Totally. The GSA is a beast, but it's still just a tool. The rider's the one who brings their own vision, their own skills, and that spark of adventure.
So let's bring it back to you, the listener. You're out there dreaming of epic journeys. Maybe a cross-country trip, or even, who knows, a round-the-world adventure. Is the 2025 BMW R 1300 GS Adventure the right bike to make that dream a reality?
Well, based on what we've seen in the review and the specs, I'd say it's definitely a top contender. It's got the performance, the tech, the comfort, the durability. It's ready for just about anything.
But it's not just about the bike on its own.
Right.
It's about finding that perfect match, the rider and the machine in harmony.
Exactly. The GSA is powerful. It's capable, but it's not going to be the right fit for every rider. It takes experience, skill, and a real commitment to adventure riding.
So if you're a seasoned rider, you're looking for a top-of-line adventure bike that can take you anywhere you want to go and do it in comfort and style, well, the GSA is definitely worth a serious look.
But even if the GSA isn't your perfect match, maybe it's not quite your style or doesn't fit your adventure goals, I still think there's a lot we can learn from checking it out, seeing what it represents.
Yeah, I agree. It pushes the boundaries of what's possible in the adventure motorcycle world. It gives us a peek into the future of this whole exciting and ever-changing segment.
And it reminds us that adventure is out there waiting for us. Whether you're on a GSA or a totally different bike, the important thing is to get out there and explore. Challenge yourself. Embrace that adventurous spirit.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the 2025 BMW R 1300 GS Adventure, we want to leave you with one last thought. Something to think about as you head out on your own two-wheeled adventures.
What kind of adventure are you dreaming of? Where do you want to go? What do you want to experience? And what kind of bike will help you get there?
Those are the big questions. The questions worth asking yourself as you navigate the world of adventure motorcycling. Yeah. And remember, it's not just about the destination. It's about the journey, the challenges, the connections, the way you grow along the way.
So keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep that spirit of adventure burning bright.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll catch you next time. Ready to explore another awesome topic. Until then, ride safe and happy adventures.